Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clever Pixel channel. Today we're diving into some surprising and lesser-known facts about Valentine's Day. We'll talk about the history of Valentine's Day, some fun facts, and then we're going to talk about how much money people waste on this manufactured holiday. Seriously, the greeting card industry invented Valentine's Day to sell cards. It's true. Stick around till the end, because you won't believe fact number 1. It's truly unbelievable. We did a lot of research on this one, folks. Weeks of research. My research team is exhausted. Number 1. So, Valentine's Day. Where did this ridiculous holiday come from? Ancient Rome. That's right. The same people who brought us togas and gladiator fights also invented a holiday where you have to pretend to like your significant other more than you actually do. Back then, they celebrated something called Lupercalia. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as to the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. To celebrate Lupercalia, the members of the Luperci, an order of Roman priests, would gather at a sacred cave where the infants Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf. I swear I'm not making this up. The priests would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. They would then cut the goat's hide into strips, dip them in the sacrificial blood, and take to the streets, gently slapping both women and crop fields with the goat hide. Roman women welcomed the touch of the hides because it was believed to make them more fertile in the coming year. Later in the day, according to legend, all the young women in the city would place their names in a big urn. The city's bachelors would each choose a name and become paired for the year with his chosen woman. These matches often ended in marriage, kind of like an ancient Roman version of Tinder, except with more goat blood. Number 2. The oldest known Valentine's Day message dates back to the 15th century. I know, right? People have been sending these mushy cards for that long? Talk about a long-running scam. This particular Valentine's Day message was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife. Charles wrote the poem while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. Now, I've been married, and I'm not saying I don't love my wife, but if I was locked up in the Tower of London, I'm not sure even I would have the energy to write her a poem. The Duke was really something else. He loved to write poems. He founded an entire school of poetry while he was locked up in the tower. Maybe he should have spent less time writing poetry and more time figuring out how to get out of prison. Just a thought. Anyway, the poem is now part of the manuscript collection of the British Library in London, England. If you're in London, stop by and check it out. Just don't tell them I sent you. Number 3. Like it or not, Valentine's Day is celebrated in many countries around the world. Although, thankfully, not everyone buys into this hallmark holiday. The French, for example, claim to have invented the tradition of sending love letters on Valentine's Day. Of course they do. In Japan, women give chocolate to men on Valentine's Day. But here's the catch. There are 2 different kinds of chocolate. There's giri choco, which is obligation chocolate that women give to their male co-workers, and then there's honmei choco, which is given to a loved one. In South Korea, they celebrate Valentine's Day, and then a month later, on March 14th, they celebrate White Day, when men are expected to return the favor with gifts for the women. But that's not all. Single people who didn't receive gifts on either holiday then get together on April 14th, called Black Day, and mourn their single status by eating black bean paste noodles. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Black Day sounds like the best of the 3. Number 4. Show me the money. Let's be honest, the real reason Valentine's Day exists is because of money. It's a cash grab, plain and simple. In the United States alone, people are expected to spend over $25 billion on Valentine's Day this year. Think about that for a second. $25 billion. That's more than the GDP of some small countries. What are people spending all that money on? Well, according to a recent survey, the average person will spend about $192. The biggest spenders are men, who spend an average of $250. Women, on the other hand, only spend about $100 on average. Come on, ladies, step it up. Where is all that money going? Well, the biggest chunk, about $5.5 billion, is spent on jewelry. Because nothing says I love you like a cheap heart-shaped necklace from the mall. Another $4.4 billion is spent on an evening out. Because nothing is more romantic than a crowded restaurant with overpriced food. And let's not forget about the greeting cards. $1.5 billion are spent on those. Because nothing says I care like a generic message that someone else wrote for you. Number 5. Chocolate. Don't get me started. Chocolate and Valentine's Day go together like, well, chocolate and anything. But why is chocolate associated with love and romance? Well, it turns out that chocolate contains a chemical called phenylethylamine, which is a natural mood booster that is released in the brain when we fall in love. But here's the thing. The amount of phenylethylamine in chocolate is so small that it has no real effect on the brain. So basically, the whole chocolate is an aphrodisiac thing is a big fat lie. Don't tell the chocolate companies, though, they're making a killing off of it. The Aztecs, however, believed that cacao beans were a gift from the god Quetzalcoatl. They were so valuable that they were even used as currency. In fact, the Aztec Emperor Montezuma was said to drink gallons of chocolate every day. Number 6. Roses are red, my wallet is blue. Roses are the most popular flower on Valentine's Day. But why? Because they're expensive. The price of roses goes up something like 400% in the week leading up to Valentine's Day. You're being played, people. The ancient Greeks and Romans associated roses with Aphrodite and Venus, their goddesses of love. Roses are also traditionally seen as a symbol of beauty, passion, and romance. They're also a symbol of thorns, wilting, and eventual death. But no one wants to talk about that. If you're thinking of buying roses for your sweetheart this Valentine's Day, do yourself a favor and wait until February 15th. You'll save a ton of money. Or, you could just buy your sweetheart a nice houseplant. They last a lot longer and they don't die after a week. Number 7. The origins of Valentine's Day can be traced back to the legend of Saint Valentine. The guy the holiday is named after. Problem is, there's like a dozen different Saint Valentines, and no one can agree on which one we're supposed to be celebrating. One legend says that Valentine was a Roman priest who defied the emperor's orders and secretly performed marriages for Christian soldiers who were forbidden to marry. According to the legend, Valentine cured the jailer's daughter of blindness and before his execution sent her a letter signed, "Your Valentine." Another legend says that Valentine was killed for attempting to help Christians escape from Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. Whatever the truth may be, Valentine's Day is now a day for celebrating love, romance, and overpriced greeting cards. Thanks, St. Valentine. You shouldn't have. Number 8. Valentine's Day has been featured in countless movies, TV shows, and songs. Some of the most famous Valentine's Day movies include Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally, and Love Actually. Oh, Love Actually. Don't even get me started. One of the most famous Valentine's Day massacres in movie history took place in the 1981 gangster film Valentine's Day Massacre. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. And of course, no discussion of Valentine's Day in pop culture would be complete without mentioning the most romantic song ever written, My Funny Valentine. Number 1. In recent years, Galentine's Day, celebrated on February 13th, has become increasingly popular, especially among women. It's a day for women to celebrate their female friendships, which is a lot more fun than pretending to be excited about getting a heart-shaped box of stale candy. The term Galentine's Day was first coined by the character Leslie Knope on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation in 2010. In the episode, Leslie organizes a waffle brunch for her female friends to celebrate their friendship. And that, my friends, is how Galentine's Day was born. Unlike Valentine's Day, which is often associated with romantic love and pressure to find a date, Galentine's Day is all about celebrating the strong and supportive bonds between women. It's a day to show your girlfriends how much you care, without the pressure of romance or the need to impress anyone. Except maybe your girlfriends. Number 10. While most people celebrate Valentine's Day with flowers, chocolates, and romantic dinners, some cultures have more unusual traditions. Like I said, things are about to get weird. In Denmark and Norway, Valentine's Day is celebrated by exchanging gikebrev, which are funny little poems or rhymes that men give to women. The catch is, the poems are signed only with dots. If the woman can guess who sent her the poem, the sender owes her an Easter egg later in the year. In Slovenia, Valentine's Day is celebrated as the day when birds mate and work in the vineyards begins. It is also believed that Saint Valentine brings the keys to the roots on this day, unlocking the earth and allowing plants to grow. And in South Africa, women pin the names of their love interests on their sleeves on Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting facts. We had to cut a lot of material. Trust me, you don't want to know what we left on the cutting room floor. Let us know in the comments which fact surprised you the most. Was it the ancient Romans slapping each other with goat hides? Or the fact that chocolate is a big fat lie? See you next time. And remember, true love is a myth. Just kidding. Or am I? See ya!